There are 7.6 billion people who share our planet. How could you possibly think that your life is important or special? How could you believe that you matter? How could you believe you even have a purpose? The truth is, you do.
We are inundated, we are flooded with uninspired people. They're everywhere. They fill the seats of our governments, they're in our offices, they're in our workplaces. They're in our churches, they're in our schools, in our communities, and sadly, they're in our lives. Maybe they're family and friends. My advice to everybody is if you want different, you can choose different. If you know that your happiness is the most meaningful to you, then you have to make choices that are going to move you towards being happy. So making choices for other people on behalf of your parents, on behalf of your siblings, on behalf of your friends, on behalf of your coworkers, it doesn't work because an authentic choice comes from yourself, it comes from your heart. Oh, victims are all around us. It might even be you right now. Everyone in their life can be a victim, and it's easy to be that. So a victim to me is someone who says, all of this dysfunction, all of this bad stuff, all this tragedy, misfortune, and bad days, they always happen to me. Why is my life so rotten? Well, it's not. It's not rotten, because if you move towards a victor state, which is the opposite of being a victor will say, all this bad stuff, this misfortune and tragedy and adversity has really happened for my benefit. I'm going to take it and run. I'm going to take it and learn from it. The past has not made you broken, it's made you better. And that's what victors say. They are victorious, which means that they say, I'm glad I'm going to take this on. I've overcome. I've become better. I've become more resilient, more courageous, more brave, because all this bad stuff has happened to me. Everyone at one point in their life fears change. They fear it because I feel they like the status quo. Some people like the job they've done for 20 plus years. Some people have liked the stability and just the security blanket. It's kind of like the Peanuts cartoon, Linus holding his blanket.
My blanket, Charlie Brown. My blanket. I can't be without it.
A lot of people are Linus. Instead of saying, I'm not going to change my life because I'm afraid, say, I'm willing to choose something that is going to give me more options. It's going to expand my horizons. It's going to break from the status quo. It's going to be something better than what I have now. I would say we already know what you got, so why don't you try something new? And you have to be willing to put yourself in that frame of mind. So being a victor, which is the ideal, is I'm willing to try to be different, to try something new. I have the courage inside of me to do this, to make this leap. And we all have it. You just have to access it. That's really the key, is accessing your courage inside of you. You must change to grow, because you don't grow without doing anything differently. It's impossible. You need to risk take somewhat in order to grow. It's sort of like looking at the diving board, head down. You need to leap into the water in order to say what life is about, because people who stand on the diving board and they're shaking and they're worried and they're fearful and they're anxious, they don't know what life is until they've actually dove into the water. We're really so quick to judge people. Oh, look at her, look at him. Why can't I have that? Really, you can. And you know how I know? Because I used to be one of those people until I had a VIP moment, and that's called a very inspired moment. And I said to myself, you know what? If I put my focus and my attention and my nurturing and my resources and of my time and of my affection into a relationship or into a career, and I grow that up, I can have it. That That's how I know. So you will grow as a person where you're putting your focus and where you're putting your attention. It's a tough lesson to learn when to walk away because your heart's involved in it. And whenever you have an emotional investment or say business in something, it's hard to know when to just cut ties. But I say that if something or someone is not helping you get to your happiness or helping you move towards happiness, it's time to move on and let go. And sometimes relationships are meant to be broken. And it's up to you to figure out that you need to move on, you need to let go and heal. I can't tell you when you should move forward, but if you're not feeling happy anymore and you're not feeling loved, those are pretty good cues. There is no magic pill when it comes to people addressing depression and anxiety. I think it really has to do with understanding what life is and choosing states, choosing what you want to be in the moment. Self-love, loving yourself. How can you love yourself if all you're doing is just medicating your body, whether it be through alcohol, whether it be through prescription drugs, whether it be through narcotics? Why do you medicate an ailing body? Instead, why don't you think differently? Why don't we think about opening up our minds and healing and finding purpose and finding meaning and having an inner compass that says, I wasn't put on this earth to suffer and to medicate myself. I was put on this planet to find my purpose, to find my meaning, to do God's work. That's what you need to do. I really think the missing component to this is love. People don't love each other anymore, in large part. People don't forgive anymore. People don't interact at a most basic functioning physical level anymore. And this is a shame. We've lost touch with our humanness. We see manifestations of violence. We see manifestations of poor decision making in governments, in politics, in societies. We see it everywhere because we don't have love. And if you don't have love, you get a whole bunch of uninspired, miserable people. People who are making bad decisions. And when you don't love yourself, it's really easy to not do good by yourself. But when you love yourself, you call yourself up to a higher standard. And you couldn't let yourself down. It's not possible. When you feel love, you always want the best for yourself. I think it's time that we stand up, we find our courage, we find our voice, and we say, enough of your apathy, enough of your lack of forgiveness, enough of your lack of gratitude in this world, enough of your unkindness. You see it in your workplaces. People are all vying, they're competing, they are cutthroat to make sales, they're cutthroat to be promoted. We see it everywhere. And I think a remedy for all this is just more love. You have to be more loving in order to give it out. You know, the people who are cutting you off on the road, or they're bullying you, they're angry, they're mean-spirited, they don't realize there's anything wrong with them. So they're just functioning sort of like zombies. They're very empty inside, they're very cold, they're very sad people, and they cannot give what they don't have inside. How are they going to love you if they don't feel love? This is the problem with society. You know what I really want for everybody, for humanity, is to be happy about living in any circumstance. Be happy without having everything. Be happy because it's free. Access it today, now, don't wait. Leave a legacy that's important, that you've done something, you've touched hearts, that you have made relationships and you've bonded with people, and that you've made a real difference. I want you to just be fundamentally, authentically happy and have a smile on your face every day. So right now, if you're suffering, if you're struggling, if you're going through tough times, if you're unhappy, what I'd like to see is that you take my lessons, if you will, and you take what I have to tell you and you make changes in your life that are going to make you happier. That is my end goal. God did not put you on this planet to live someone else's life, to live someone else's purpose, to live someone else's meaning, to do their job, to live their life, which means that you need to figure out why you're here. I think that you need to be your own biggest fan. You need to root for yourself. You need to like yourself. You need to love yourself. These are non-negotiables, because the world can turn on you. The people that you most trust can turn on you in a heartbeat, and it's sad, but it is true. So when you don't have anyone else around you, what do? You have to believe in who you are. Chart out your own path. Be your own fan. It's called self-love. And I say that self-love is unconditional. It should never go away. You have to love yourself. Irrespective of all of this around you, all this noise and clutter and the people and the crowd of people, you have to say, I love me, my Creator loves me, my Creator made me, and whoever that Creator is for you, I am part of this bigger fabric and entity and structure of the universe. I am here and I am love. You are loved and you are love. There is nothing more horribly sad than a person with hate in his or her heart. It's terrible to look at, it's terrible to be around, and it doesn't have to be like that. People who don't forgive can make a choice. They can say, I'm not perfect, I'm not divine, I don't know everything, and give back and say, I'm going to restart this relationship, I'm going to forgive. Whoever has crossed my path, I'm going to do it because I'm going to be better for it. I'm going to get peace of mind. I can be optimistic. I can be happier when I don't hold hate in your heart. When life gives you chaos, give it calm back. And I know that this sounds very complex, because when you're in the heat of the moment and your mercury rises inside of you and you want to be reactive and you want to give back what you feel inside, stop. Just quit, because victims will bully people back. Victims feel that anger. I'm not here to talk about how to be a millionaire. I'm not here to talk about how to get ahead in the workplace and be the CEO. I'm not here to make you think that you can dominate the world and be president tomorrow. It really has to do with managing the everyday problems and struggles that you have and doing it with a tool set. So it's being optimistic, being courageous and brave. It is embracing reality. It is forgiving people. It is forging forward. It is taking a leap. It is letting go of negative relationships and people. That's really what I'm here for, is to give you that understanding and the framework to work with. We are not all made for leadership, for big leadership. We're not all going to be presidents. We're not all going to be politicians. We're not all going to be actresses and models and many different titles and roles that we think we need to have. But you need to be a leader in your own life. You need to take ownership and responsibility of your own life and be the leader of your family. Be a leader in your church. Be a leader in your community. Be a leader in your school. This is what it really means to hold a philosophy of leadership and be inspiring and be encouraging and be the person that the others say, I wish I could be like her. I wish I could be like him. It's truly what it is all about.
Please like and subscribe to join the revolution.